Hi, and welcome to the Route to CISO Podcast. It's me, Kris Rides. I'm going to be your host, and I'm going to be chatting to seasoned Chief Information Security Officers about their career journeys. We're going to be unencrypting their real-life stories and searching for the hidden keys to help you fast-track your cybersecurity career. Let's jump off from Nestlé. They were obviously, you said your boss sort of was very honest with you and was like, look, I'm going to be here for a while. How did the next opportunity come about? And that is also a very big step, because it sounds like you were reporting into a single CISO. How did you first get that CISO title? Because that's a big step that a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, so, moving from Nestle to any company that's smaller, it made it easy to make, it's kind of a lateral move, right?
Yeah.
So, and since then I've been on that same kind of, I would say, medium-sized businesses, like, 3 to 5 billion size, not, 90 billion size.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think about if I had stayed at Nestle and would I want to be the global CISO of Nestle, it is a big role, right? And I'm a strong believer in work-life balance. I think it's really important to spend time with your family and your friends and wind down and take vacations and all of that kind of stuff. And so the current role that I have is, I think, ideally suited for me, right? We have a small but mighty team. We have a great leadership. It's a great company. And it gives me enough time to be able to do my job effectively, but also at the end of the day, turn off and spend time with my family and my friends and with, and relaxing and enjoying myself. So, so to get that first role, it was, a manufacturing company looking for their first CISO. And I came in with, I've got this, pretty high level experience at Nestle across 60 different business units and managing a large team and a big budget and all that stuff. So it was, in some ways it was a step down, and in some ways it was a step up. So that's why I still call it a lateral move. But that first role taught me a lot. I think the biggest thing that I learned at Hillenbrand, so at Hillenbrand, I reported directly to the board 5 times a year. And at Nestle, I would give input to where my boss would report to the board, but I didn't directly interact with the board. And so that was a big step change for me. Now, there were a lot of things that were smaller, and that made things kind of easier for me. But able to build a really good team there. When I first started, there was 1 person in cybersecurity. We built the team from 1 to 15. The other thing I did is what I called my value realization program. Remember, I said we need people who know what good looks like.
Yeah.
So we had a bunch of tools that we were spending a bunch of money on, but we weren't fully utilizing any of those tools. So building out the team and the skill sets, and then also working with the vendors to say, like, hey, we're paying for like 10 times more than we're using. Like, maybe we can renegotiate these contracts. So finding some good savings, and then using that to get the right tools to launch kind of a security basics program. So there was no identity management in place, no identity governance for like 10,000 employees. That's kind of a big deal. There was no asset management in place, and this is a manufacturing company who's making like IoT ready devices as well. So you definitely need to have kind of an IoT security program in there. And what was the third thing that we did? Identity management, OT security, and asset management. So no way to track assets across different things, and like patching and vulns and all that stuff that has to do with asset management. So really, when you think about the basics of cybersecurity, those are things that you need to have in place anyway. So laying those kind of foundations, and that helped me to do that. I learned a lot in that role, and I've been able to apply that stuff in the future roles as well.
Yeah, it's not easy to secure what you've got unless you know what it is, right? Or what you've got, right?
What keeps you awake at night? The stuff I don't know about.
Yeah. And so how did you get that role?
I think it was a recruiter who reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're looking for this role." And while I was at Nestle, I had recruiters reach out pretty regularly. And prior to having this conversation with my boss, I would all no and thank you, and I'm not interested. But this time I said, okay, yes, I'll see. And they flew me out to this place to go and interview, and I did, and it went pretty well. And They gave me a job offer, and it was pretty good. And, I said yes. I mean, it was a pretty easy process, honestly, Kris.
That's good. Well, I mean, that's what a recruiter's supposed to do, right? That's the whole point, is we're supposed to make it easy.
Yes.
So that's good to hear. There's a few of us good ones out there.
There are a few good ones.
Best
And
reputations.
I'll tell you what, if you're a good one, you get recommended to other people that I know who are looking for a role. So if you're a bad one and you ghost and you don't really care, then I'm not going to recommend you to anybody. But I have a short list of people I recommend, and those recruiters get my friends who are looking, and I hope a good candidate.
Good. Yeah, that's how it should be. I think that anybody that's good, cybersecurity is it's a trust industry, right? So, yes. The one thing I'd say is that I see a lot of people trying to break into it, but apply what they did in other industries, and it just doesn't work that way. You have to be part of the industry. You have to be part of, and that's been from the day I started the company. I was involved with Cloud Security Alliance and a founding director of the local chapter in LA. And I think you just have to be part of it and be involved in it to build up that trust.
Thank you for listening to the Route to CISO podcast. If there's something you really want me to ask on the next episode, or if you're a CISO who wants to inspire the next generation, please reach out. I'll leave a URL to my LinkedIn profile, and make sure you connect and message me there. We're always looking for feedback, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.